Hello, guys, and welcome to the DPC SA. We're here with so weird, so close to SEA, but so different, so far away. We're here in the Winter Tour. Div 1 is back. I know you guys were really excited for this matchup, particularly as we get to see Beastcoast once again, this time against Hokori. If you've been following the league for a while, you know that Hokori has been in a bit of a struggle, looking a bit worse than last season, but they're hopeful. Maybe they can turn things around. I'm hopeful for the team. And not just because they use my voice for their supporter pack. I think they're a great team. I think they have a lot of potential. So we'll see. Can they take a game off Beast Coast? What does my panel think, guys?
Gonna be a pretty uphill battle. I mean, Beast Coast is Beast Coast. I think they're torn from a different cloth a little bit compared to most of the other teams here in this region still. So I think it's gonna be really tough. I mean, there's one standout player I do like watching for Hokori, and it's Guts usually, but I think overall, like every role, I would say Beast Coast has quite a big advantage.
Great analysis,
Okay.
Fog. We have the best team. We have the international
true.
team playing against a team that did not manage to win a single game so far. And yeah, not looking good for Hokori. You know, looking the way they played. Some of the drafts look like they've been made like a couple of years ago. I don't think they're playing meta stuff. There are games against No Ping where they ran offlane Alchemist plus Anti-Mage. They were trying to hit like a certain timing. Alchemist buying 2 Aghanim Scepters didn't end well, but that was also like No Ping as a team. Like at that point, they looked super strong and they were just picking the same stuff. So I'm not surprised that Hokori lost, but they also play a lot of cookie cutter. I've seen their drafts; they're all over the place.
Yeah. Hokori's pretty wild with the drafting department. They also picked an Abaddon mid, which we were like, why? But you know what's funny was that Astini, who was their coach, was also one of the panelists here. Thank you, He can't be here today, but we love you, Astini. And he was telling us that the Abaddon mid had worked a lot in scrims. It's like, yeah, we're so confident about it. We had it prepared against the Batrider. It was great. It was a top-tier pick. And then it comes to the game and it doesn't work out. And his claim is that Hokori is choking in every game. But I don't know.
Okay.
It's
Their drafts. I'd have to side with Lacoste. Like their drafts just look. I mean, there's like.
Yeah.
There's like your normal kind of drafts where it's like you can see what it's doing. You know, you're initiating off lane, or you're playmaking mid, your carry from your safe lane, etc. Like the very standard stuff. Theirs is just like they don't have any of those. like you said, like Alchemist off lane and stuff. Like they've been picking like the Brood Mother and throwing it in some like weird position. There's not so much information. There's only like the 4 games that they played recently, and then about a month ago they played some games. But yeah, just some type of identity seems strange for them.
Yeah, they seem like they need still to find how they're gonna play the games. Being like 2-0 in terms of series, like you need to step it up. I'm not sure this is the series, but we'll have to see. Because Beast Coast, like they as a team, they just do their own stuff. Like watching some of their games, casting some of their games, especially against Lava. Man, Hector, he's still impressive. Like I've been seeing some other games, like region wise, South America looks really good. I would say I've been really impressed by Apu King of Kings, and there's so much raw talent in the scene. But if they like mix things up, I don't know if there's something planned. We throughout the history saw some of the players coming into the scene from Western, like Misery, we playing there. But I also want to see like some of the South American teams also joining other regions as well. We saw some joining like Alliance and stuff, but I want to see more of that because I've been really impressed. Like seeing Mini play, seeing Valky, like these players are extremely high skilled, and I think it's good to just like make the region better.
Yeah, I like that because I think what was it? Not this TI, but the last TI is when I think the most attention, of course, went to South America because of Beast Coast's run, because of how well they did. And I think these players have definitely shown themselves to be on the same caliber as these other like super high MMR players, like Whisper. And Whisper's a monster. This guy's like top 10 MMR for so long, and he's playing like Tinkers and these very strange heroes that just fits his style. These Brewmasters that not a lot of other players play.
He played offlane Snapfire. This is something that me and Fog do in pubs together, but in professional games, it's not doable. He still manages to like stay close to the top of network because it's very hard to be at the top of the network considering you have Hector in the team, and that's almost unbeatable. I actually don't know how this like you can make a study, like you can, I don't know, do this as a subject. on like a course to just show how this man farms. Like you can try to study it. It would take you a while to actually get inside. Because I remember the game that he played against, I believe it was against Lava, because they trial that start just to get the kill on him. He dies, TPs dies again, and then 15 minutes, he needs to walk back from the fountain, and then 15 minutes into the game, he is the most farmed hero in the game by like 3-4k. It's actually insane.
Yeah, and that's that's what I was talking like from the not this the eye but the one before. I know most Chinese players, like his name started to get mentioned across everybody. They're like, "Yo, what's going on here?" Like we have our carries TPing to fight. He's TPing to farm every time. Like so someone needs to take notes of what's going on here from Hector. So, Beastcoast they have that element of just outstanding individual performances. And of course, as a team, they've been getting I want to say better and better. Everybody's been getting a little bit better and better, so maybe they look a little bit worse in that context, but I love watching them because I don't want to say wild card, but they're nuts. Like they're absolutely crazy. Every single player. Like even just sometimes the way they die, like the way we saw like Stinger die at TI.
I think I heard you.
Schofields.
Yeah. I think I heard you saying, Avo, that they don't scrim. Like they don't scream that much.
Yeah. They started scrimming this year because Beastcoast management was like, guys, you need to scrim. Every other top team scrims, but they thought scrims were bad for them. They only played pubs, and they never played together. They actually muted each other in pubs. I'll share an anecdote because I agree with Fogged here that they're absolute psychopaths. Like I talk to them, and when the way they interact with each other is so odd. I talked to them when they were in the Animajor, and remember that they were doing pretty badly in the Animajor, right? And if you guys remember, the Animajor had this like meta of like these tanky offlaners, right? That started popping up, the DK particularly popping up, and was disgusting. Yes. And so they were like talking in the team last day of group stages and stressed out, obviously, because they're about to be eliminated. They're like, we need to figure out how to deal with this DK. We need to figure out a plan, right? And like, okay. And so they're suggesting heroes, and someone goes, well, what if we picked like an Ursa, right? And Hector goes, oh yeah, because Ursa goes rar. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then the Stinger goes, yeah, actually, it's true. It's rar. What if we had like a Magnus in the offlane? And he goes, oh yeah, like, and they're making these noises, and they're all understanding each other. And the Stinger goes, I would love to add a Witch Doctor because and then they all dance, and Chris Luck does the dance too, and then they understand each other. And they're like, that's a perfect draft. That's really good. And they're writing this down. They're writing the sounds down. And I don't understand what they're talking about. I was like, this is what pros sound like, apparently. They just make noises for the animals, and they understand exactly the ideas in their mind. And I think that's what Beastcoast looks to me. They're nuts. They really are nuts. I've never seen a team be this crazy when they talk about Dota.
Yeah, it seems like they're making a band instead of making a Dota team / draft, because like they need that Witch Doctor. I'm really glad that they put Witch Doctor in that, because the best video. Oh yeah,
best
look
video.
At it go.
Yes. What
Still,
a classic.
after all these years, one of my favorite ones.
Yep. It sounds like definitely things have changed in South America, but that sounds pretty similar to when I played with with the other boys, of course, from a long time ago. Not today. I mean, that's ages ago, but that's the same way that they were when I was playing with them. And like, I'm in the room with them, and they're just yelling stuff and like making frog noises, and I'm like, all right, I guess that means go. I'm not like, I'm sure, let's go, whatever.
that is the charm of South America, right, to a degree, and it's also the charm of these teams that have been together for so long. And South America is getting a couple of them now. We have Thunder Predator, which was noping for a whole year or almost a year, right? One small change, not a big deal. Beastcoast's been together for 3 years now, right?
3 years,
almost.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. For a region that used to be known as the shuffle region, and now we're actually getting teams that have been consistent enough, and I think that's where the power comes.
I think one of the reasons why they can be so long together is because they don't spend time together. You said they don't scrim, and that's one way to stay
they
together.
Like each other like that.
Yeah. Sometimes spending too much time is not necessarily a good thing. You need to be able to reset and just do your own thing for a while.
Sure.
That's true. We talk about resets, but you don't mind I swap a bit to Hokori for a second, because we all love Beastcoast, but I do want to give him a little bit there.
Yep.
Hokori is also a team that had to have a little bit of reset. You guys talked about not finding their style, and there's a reason for that. They had a very defined 4 Protect 1 style last year, and they had a top tier carry, which was Lumiere. And Lumiere leaves, that style kind of fell apart, to be honest, because they still ran a good 4 Protect 1. They're still really good at doing the Protect, but they needed a 1 that was Lumiere's quality. And which they got from NA Div 2, is a good carry, but not the quality of Lumiere, who's probably top tier carry in SA. Like right now, it's like top 3, top 4. So this is where they're struggling the most. And that's why we're trying to see these identities, these changes, like the Alchemist. This is a strategy they ran a lot when Analog was in the team, and they would just run Analog as the win condition, and they would play Bristleback mid, Alchemist off lane, and that makes more sense. That's better than the anti-mage.
I think also just Dota it's always evolving, obviously, but I feel I don't know. 4 Protect 1 for me is kind of a dead concept. Sure, you can still still sometimes see it, but like you don't see these anti-mage super carries. Sometimes you see the PA super carry and stuff, but it's not the same, I feel like, as it used to be. You need your I'm gonna say it again, the Void Spirit, the Ember Spirits, these guys that are doing most of the legwork throughout 90% of the game, and they kind of are their own carries in a way anyway. So yeah, I think times have changed. So I feel like that style has changed quite a bit for them. They need to get away from it, which I guess they are kind of trying to do with these weird drafts, but maybe going too far outside the box.
Yeah, I would say in this meta, you need to have at least 2 scaling cores. You can't just rely on one, because we see the offlaners also scaling. If you talk about the good offlaners like Mars, that is pretty much in every single game whenever he's available, like with Armlet, like sometimes Deso or Satanic type of a build. If it comes down to post 40 minutes mark, overwhelming blink, he dishes out some serious amount of damage, and you want to be able to scale. One of the reasons why I think also 4 Protect 1 is not a thing anymore.
Right. I like that point, actually, because that's one of the biggest weaknesses for Hokori. Vitali, while being a really good offlaner, he's known for Darkseer that builds auras, He's known for Bloodseeker first item Greaves. He is not known for cores that scale. His Mars is good, but doesn't stand out compared to the people in the region. And it could be that they're actually struggling to adapt to this new idea of the scaling offlaner and the more diverse playstyles. So
yeah, because I mean, for so long it was like that, though, right? It's like, all right, off lane time, Darkseer, Enigma, Mech, Aura, blah, Beastmaster, etc. But now it's like even, these Beastmasters are different monsters because of Helm of Overlord added over time, and just things have all changed, So yeah, definitely need to readjust stuff, and they've got the biggest uphill battle for them, so this could be a really big opportunity for them to learn a lot. And if they can upset, I mean, it's massive for them. So
yeah, I mean, we've seen upsets in South America. If anyone said, Apu King of Kings, a lower division team, will they be able to do good? You'd probably say, no, but Dota would be pretty boring. But they managed to beat No Ping. If you look at the names, they look pretty strong. They managed to beat Lava, which is also ex Thunder Predator. I mean, they're still not doing hot even after they TI run. But looking at the names and just knowing how good of a Dota they can play, you would be very surprised that some of these players actually go down to Apu King of Kings. But my point is, there's so much talent in the scene, and they're up and coming teams. We see other regions as well struggling. We see Alliance not doing well in Europe. We see Nigma not being able to win any games.
EG losing 2 series.
Yeah,
right?
EG losing to some of the new stacks, and then you're well, you can't just play the same Dota for so long. You need to change something, and there's going to be new kids, someone who's hungry for the victory, someone who's going to practice more than you, someone who's going to play extra 5 pubs a day, and the results show that.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to see if this is a game where Hokori can be some of those hungry kids as well, because they're also new to the scene, or if Beastcoast will do what we expect them to do. And for that, we get to see a draft. And many drafts, when we had Winter on the panel, who's a big fan of the drafting, he always said Beastcoast draft was awful the first game, and the second game was beautiful. So let's see if they follow this trend, or if they've fixed some of their issues.
Cool. Bans look pretty appropriate. I think Silencer may be one of those that is more targeted at specific teams, but I mean, Weaver, Mars, Timber, these are super popular. I think is Weaver most banned in all regions? I feel like he's banned every game.
I think so.
The hero's just
I think it's
too
banned
powerful.
Pick rate.
Bugs just are so broken. I don't know.
Yeah, it's impossible to kill the bugs. 4 attacks on a support, I don't know, Lion, Aya, you just can't deal with it. You either stand and die, or you kill the bugs and die. So or you try to run away and die, whatever. But my point is, this hero is just too powerful. Level 2, level 3, you can kill the couriers. There is still Snapfire available. Snapfire, one of the best position 4s in the game, and also Beastcoast ran it as position 3. I believe 69% win rate just in South America, DPC. Very nice. And there we go.
I think she's the second highest pick support, or maybe even the highest pick support, because Weaver's banned all the time. Every game, I swear, Snapfire's in as well.
Yep, in Southeast Asia, they're first picking it as well. It's like they support you're okay to give to your enemy, but also strong enough to first phase it every single time.
I don't know if you
I love
want to
it.
go with 2 supports open. I don't think that's like the thing. But if you pair up with something like a disruptor, could be really good against IO, being able to lock down. Or they could start thinking about offlaner. I think opening up with offlaner plus 1 support just feels like a winning formula right now because you're not revealing too much.
No, there we go.
I guess that's an offlaner. I don't think
Yeah.
Earthshaker or a mid. You should not play this hero as a position 4. It just doesn't feel good.
Wow, that's this is just the IO classic pairing that we saw for so long. People just even forcing the issue there. Okay, I guess they see these 2 heroes, but now you have to watch out what you ban for too. I've been seeing more and more Nyx assassins recently. I feel like too because Storm, Ember, and Void Spirit are picked like 99% of games, so could still see that for Beastcoast being played. Saw that one yesterday too, and the Void Spirit got. I mean, he literally just fed half the game because Nyx just clicked Carapace. So.
IO Storm plus Luna is one of my favorite combos of the heroes, where IO can play with the Storm Spirit, Luna jungle, IO stacks, and then IO connects with Luna a bit later. And yeah, the Beast goes
They ban
to ban
it
it out. It's just too strong.
I think it just I love these carries to just give you natural push, That's why I feel like Luna's just getting so much better. It's like, hey, we don't have push, but we have 5-man aura or 4-man aura on a tower. It's like that tower is just dead. And team fights an overcharged Storm Spirit hitting with his overload plus the damage just increased from Luna passively. Like this Storm Spirit feels like he has a constant double damage. So there's a lot of fun combos for sure.
They need to start thinking about the matchup on a mid lane. We see Hokori banning out heroes that are good against Storm Spirit. There's still Lena in the pool if we're talking solely about the laning stage, or Puck. I think one of those 2 needs to get removed by Hokori because Puck makes Storm Spirit game pretty much unplayable. And Storm Spirit, they don't tend to go for Orchids anymore. Same goes for Queen of Pains. So Puck as a hero kind of risen in terms of strength. You don't need to buy into any kind of Dispel. You don't have to go for Yules, which is always going to be nice. And we see I think Gaia Sunrise right now is a bit OP, but and you can build it on Puck even second item, even first item. I've seen it. It's insanely good on these mid intelligence heroes.
I liked what I saw yesterday too. We saw I mean, it should not have gone this way, but it was the Pango mid versus the Storm Spirit. The game, his lane went way better than it should have. He dominated Storm, took tower. It was very bizarre, but the way that he played the game, I actually really liked it. His Yules blink. He was just a chain stunner. I think that hero is also pretty ridiculous now. He just has always felt really strong, but I've been seeing it rising even more than before.
And the lane for Ember Spirit is not strong against Storm. Storm kind of dumpsters him, but later on the chains, the lack of lockdown, also kind of Ember just does so many things, very annoying to deal with. I would say that he is the strongest spirit right now.
And when you're running, your first pick IO, you're setting yourself up to just get jumped in the back. One latch, one chain, and you're just dead from Snapfire spells. So yeah, Ember Ban always works really well. These mobile cores. You see the Queen of Pain and Ember Ban when you have IO first pick. Makes sense.
10 seconds remaining.
What cores could Beastcoast pick in preparation for this IO pairing? Because they haven't banned any more of the IO partners. How do you prepare for the IO? I was not gonna say Shadow Fiend. But,
I think you're playing into Snapfire Earthshaker, so you need to start thinking about the lane, because it's a very strong lane. Cookie into Totem, into Fisher, into another Totem. It's a ton of damage into Slow. So possibly something ranged. I think picking a melee hero could be a bit problematic for them.
I think the one I'm already really worried. I gotta be honest for Hokori because I'm gonna wait till this third pick to be as worried. But when I see IO Storm and we'll see what this third pick. If they don't pick team fight, I look at Beastcoast lineup and I'm like, I don't think Hokori's ever gonna win a team fight. And that's something that I've always seen in the past. When you see IO, when you see Nyx Assassin, those 2 heroes in particular, it's the group up team fights that start to become problematic at times because
I want to see
IO is just walking and he just gets killed by team fight.
Tidehunter or something like Pango to be able to provide him some kind of more control, and you can jump the backlines. Let's see what they go. It's just an ogre for now.
So zero team fight in the first 3 heroes versus 3 humongous team fight. This is just a buff up lineup.
Yeah, so you need a strong carry. This means the IO is just 4, right? So you want an offlaner as well that can take advantage of the IO.
Stupid. 10 seconds remaining. Stupid.
Mars and Legion
Yeah.
are gone.
The big ones are gone. The two best IO
Yeah.
pairings.
Slaughter are still in the pool, but that's not been seen too much. Oh, that's an interesting one, actually.
It's a super OP hero at the moment, especially in pubs. But
Like they have 0 team fight, but their pickoff is extremely powerful. Like the
Yeah.
global presence from Spirit Breaker,
Yeah.
charge storms, zipping in, IO +1, relocating. It's gonna be super strong. It's just the execution, and there's always this Fisher problem that you're gonna run into that could set up like disrupt so many of your ganks. I'm still down for Disruptor, position 5, great against Spirit Breaker. Even something like a Shadow Demon should work, but I feel like Disruptor is fine. I've seen a lot of Shadow Demons, especially in NA. It seems like to be a new counter to Spirit Breaker. He charges in, you use Demonic Purge on him, he can't move. He's literally moving, but you can outrun him even during the charge, and you kill him.
you've seen a lot more than you've been watching a lot more than me. Is
Yeah.
Oracle just a gone hero? Is that hero just dead?
I think Liquid only played it. That's
Okay.
it.
I was just thinking of man.
All right, so the Sven pick, that's the Hector pick, very obviously. So the last pick for Beastcoast, they're keeping it open then with the Earthshaker potentially still being a support.
So much stun.
I mean, if there's a team
Lots
that's
of
going to run
control.
it. Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
What
5 seconds.
can Hokori, like right now, if you're Hokori, do you mitigate the lack of team fight that you have with this last pick, or are you looking to just go all in into this global pick-off potential?
They have a lot of holes in their lineup. That's the one thing I'm saying. Like they don't have good they don't have good objective taken. They only have good pickoff. So I think they need to have at least something else. If they go all in on pickoff, like how are they going to get anything on the map besides that? Like I don't know how they round it up, but I feel like they need something that helps them take objectives a little bit more. Like Bloodlust and Overcharge is decent, but running into this draft, like running into Beast Coast draft and trying to set up on towers, like you need to have killed 3 heroes on the map before you can set up for a tower then.
Because you can't pick any of the illusion-based heroes. Not a good matchup against Sven. So maybe, possibly a TB. Because they need tower damage. None of these heroes deal tower damage as well. So that's also a huge issue.
Interesting. Also, that's the mid Shadow Fiend, right, too? So very likely he builds Yules. So we'll have a Yules, Shadow Fiend versus Storm and Spirit Breaker with very little ways to actually stop it on the side of Hokori right now. Likely, right? Because that's Sven's safe lane.
Radiant team pick.
So that looks, I mean, that
But
looks,
then the Morphle.
that looks scary for a Spirit Breaker and a Storm, too. Like, who's going to walk up and stop the Shadow Fiend Requiem on a Buell's combo? The Ogre has to be in position or Spirit Breaker has to be there already.
Yeah.
So
And
this
if there's any kind of follow-up with Stun, Earthshaker, you put yourself in a tough spot, like the amount of damage that Shadowfiend and Sven can deal. Even Snapfire from the back lines. Let's see what they decide to go for. Okay.
Oh.
So just win the lane. They're looking to try to just crush the lane then with a TA and try to snowball off that.
Okay.
But that's what is it? It's gonna be because like Storm mid he loses pretty hard to Shadow Fiend. So then you're gonna want to put Storm safe lane and TA mid. Are you gonna change things up that much? Because I know we've been seeing a lot of the safe lane TAs, but I don't feel like I've seen safe lane Storm.
No.
I've seen
we have
some.
not.
It's okay,
Really? DPC?
especially if he's like paired up with IO. They could swap things around. They have some flexibility with their draft. I'm just looking at Beast Coast if they want to pick 5 and put Earthshaker as a position 3. I still feel Disruptor is a really good pickup. Like gives them a bit more control, especially against the Storm Spirit. They don't have any kind of silence, so he can provide them with that. Sven Disruptor seems strong in the lane. Like you even have kill potential, even though Sven's like not the best, but Disruptor gives you that. The glimpse back, the setting things up, setting IO back with the disruption. I think this could round up that draft nicely.
I got Witch Doctor in my head for some reason because of Evo. I see IO as well too. I'm just like, the Witch Doctor song's going in my head. We got a cask. You know, the bulldoze is annoying, but when a cask redirects and bounce back to you inside of a fight too, like the bulldoze doesn't do that much. Strong lane. I don't know. They probably won't pick it, but for some reason it's in my head.
Nah, it's not crazy.
I'm
They do love
thinking-
that hero.
SD or Disruptor here.
Okay.
Let's see. Or if they want to like run. Yeah.
They actually did the
SD.
SD. I'm
There we
actually,
go.
I
Nice.
like the
Well done.
SD the most. I just really did not think that they would do it. I'll be honest. So that's actually a really good pick.
Yep. So I'm assuming, just judging by what you were saying, the guys in the draft, that we are siding. You're siding with Beast Coast, both of you, Lacoste.
Yeah, they have 0 team fight. They could like try to out gank them with the lineup that they got on side of Hokori, with TA coming online fast. You have like Storm Spirit, the global presence that we mentioned. But when it comes to the team fight, if things don't go well for Beastcoast, if they're just going to be holding hands, I don't think you can, like, this is the weakness of a Storm Spirit, because he relies on a pick-off. Same goes for Spirit Breaker. So hitting the timing with their draft and staying together, not losing the laning stage, which I don't think they should on Beastcoast. So yeah, it looks good for Beastcoast in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Spirit Breaker has too much. He has to be everywhere to make these plays, and I feel like he's going to be spread too thin. And yeah, they just lack a lot. You know, this TA does help them a bit with that objective taking that we were saying that they lack, but they just have zero team fight. So uphill battle for sure.
All right, will Hokori be able to win this uphill battle, or will the expected happen and Beastcoast take this first game? We're going to have to see. Nobody knows. But we do know that no matter what, we're going to get a great cast because our casters are Lyrical and Trent.
Thank you so much, Avo. And yeah, Trent, we're here. We're ready to cast a little bit of SA Dota. You've unmuted yourself on Discord, so I can hear you now. That's wonderful. How you doing, sir?
Thinking. I'm ready. You know, I'm good to go. Excited for this matchup. Obviously, gonna be tough for Hokori coming in. It's Beastcoast, but I kind of like the idea here. All right, I know it's a rough looking draft, but what do we say when the teams are mismatched? You know, we like to see them try and play kind of fast, very aggressive, and they have the lineup that's gonna let them do that here today.
I thought
and
you were
they're
gonna
already
set
going.
Up,
they're smoking mid right now.
It's time to go. I thought you were setting up for like easy game, or that's what you wanted me to say or something. But that would have been rude and that would have been mean. And that's not what's going to happen. Instead, it's going to be a hotly contested game. And I think that we should be able to hop into the game now. As,
that would be good.
There's almost some action. They backed out there, Jan, just at the second. But it's perfectly fine. Chris Luck there facing off against Guts. Can I tell you real quickly, Guts, one of the best other names that used to have was Mr. Jeans. And I'm so sad he's called Guts now.
Mr. Jeans, the legendary gamer from SA. One of the most notorious, I guess, if you want to say infamous, perhaps. Like he's got quite the stream persona from what I gather. He's a pretty popular Facebook stream. He's I don't know if he's like Gork level, but I feel like that's kind of the idea. He's more like a personality in a sense than, but also like, you know, going at the higher tier of pro, I suppose.
This is a little bit terrifying.
That didn't look good.
No, that
looked
is
a little
pause.
laggy.
Let's see. We've got triple raise ready. Fissure is available. Can they kill Vitaly? It's got a bracer. This is like a hard kill to make happen, I feel like.
Stupid.
I know they have Fissure too. I'm pretty sure, you know, they can just pick someone and they should die.
All right. Spirit Breaker in some trouble. Already has Bash queued up, and Stinger wouldn't be the one that claims the kill. I just realized that as the game got started, I also muted all of the players so I wouldn't hear the voice chat spam. So I didn't see that they said go. So you're going to have to let me know when that does happen.
I got it covered.
Perfect.
What year is it? Why is there a Shadow Fiend and a Storm Spirit in the mid lane? My goodness. It's just like the good times.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if those were good times. Those are terrifying times.
That's a sweet spray, though. A dinosaur costume. That's pretty hype.
Big fan. Just going to try and spam this one out here and put some pressure, if possible. As down bottom, it is going to be, like the panel is talking about, that Whisper playing on the Snapfire in the core roll, and trying to push back Grenia as much as possible here. And another pause. Hopefully not too much of an issue going on here. But a quick DC from Gale and Hector.
No VOL tether. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said.
Oh, here's a little replay here. First blood. You could see, I don't know if the pause really mattered right there. As soon as that like Spirit Breaker was that fully committed and had Bash skilled, pretty hard to make anything happen to turn that around.
Oh, by the way, for anyone who's just coming to Beastcoast for the first time in a while, Schofield has officially, as he said, changed his tag to Gojira. Much like Chris Luck is now C-Smile. Those are their tags. Not just like a one-time thing. They'd like to change. So, Gojira, pretty hype, obviously. I like the tag. Original Godzilla.
And I think that, you know, it's just like with Guts as well. You know, you got to go by the names that are there on the screen so that way everybody knows what's good with it. But yeah, gonna get going, back underway, and hopefully there won't be too many other issues. I believe we saw that this one was on Peru servers as well at the start of the game, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue in terms of like differential and lag between the two teams.
Yeah, I did notice a little bit of lag as things were kicking off. I'm not sure what was going on there, but hopefully the server will stabilize. We'll be all right. I think that's always what they're kind of hoping for in SA. You know, you never know what you're going to get when it comes to the server situation. But oh, Courier snipe down. Nice, Gojira. Very well done. Gardic going to be losing his Courier there on the Ogre. At least you're an Ogre, right? You got tons of HP regen, so it's not the worst. You're kind of working with a natural regenning situation anyway. Yeah. And meanwhile, we haven't even talked about top lane. Stinger and Hector getting a little bit low under the tower. Still able to farm away up here, though. But a very pressuring lane here. A couple bullies.
Yeah, it's you know, a ton of regen, obviously. Big tanky Spirit Breaker that stands up front and tries to keep back Sven from farming whenever possible. And in the meantime, you do have some potential there from Stinger to spam out the Shadow Poison. But now, Hector trying to buy a little bit of space with that stun. And they're just going to keep this pressure on. God, this is the strength of Io, though. This is why this hero is so difficult to deal with. Gets a bash. Does have charge in a few, but not going to go for anything.
They also have 0 regen left on Beastcoast. Oh, and he went right for the treads, too. Like, oh, well, I guess right for the Belt of Strength, I should say. It's just like no early regen at all brought out. Going to be fully reliant on what Stinger's going to be bringing up here. So better hope that Courier makes it. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and it's going to be here in a second, surely. Although Hector, again, taking some more damage, throws the stun now. Misho almost falls. A couple more Shadow Poisons could have been enough, but that's just going to be another salve and
bottom.
A Tango passed over. But yeah, they find the kill. Whisper makes it happen. Onto Yuma.
2 points in the Scatter Blast, too. That's quite a bit of damage, even at max range. 150 this early, and yeah, dealing with the refractions as well. I was very curious who's going to be laning versus this TA, but I like the snap. No little shredder, so they have to be a little bit more diligent than you might expect with the hero in terms of ensuring that all the refractions are burnt out. But once they're gone, clearly you've got the big burst for it.
Yeah, and Whisper takes that point now in Little Shredder at level 4. So this is going to be an opportunity where, like, even as Yuma comes back to lane, it's not safe to be here necessarily.
Oh man,
up top to keep that push on. Misho heads back over towards the lane to try and help out Vitalia a little bit more. And they will, charge through, actually. Some pretty good damage there as the banishment comes out. And continuing to try and harass and frustrate K1 as he keeps the farming going.
I will say this Shadow Demon pick was so good.
Yeah.
I feel like we've heard discussed a lot by teams in terms of Spirit Breaker. Just saying that, like, I think it was Sammy Boy talking about how he just feels like it absolutely ruins the hero, which makes sense, right? You just get the purge on top of him, feels like he can't do anything during the team fights. But you know who else really hates it is Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
Because at the end of your game, it's like 30% of your damage or something like that is coming from your passive.
Oof.
So if you just keep getting it like dispelled off of you, it can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, and I think that, like, you know, you sort of are, you know, going to be able to zip away potentially, but if you're using your mana as some more damage onto K1, almost enough for the kill, but not quite going to connect with it. If you're using your mana to get away from being like fully contained, and you're not, you know, providing all that much to the fight at that point. So definitely a frustrating hero to play with and against. God, they just keep spamming into him. This Spirit Breaker is being a real menace constantly, and has that consistent regen coming in from the IO, and you know, has now boots, gauntlet, gloves of haste. He's killing it.
Oh!
More pressure. Almost
more.
enough. Oh my god, the banish at the last second. Needs a bash here. Can he do it?
Yo, he can't buy a bash. Oh, he wanted it. He wanted
Dude,
it so
not
bad.
Happening. Oh my god. That's so annoying. I'm sure Vitaly. But that does still send Hector back home. So Sven, forced to retreat all the way back, does have treads done at this point.
He can actually throw the courier home.
There you go.
You know, a little bit faster there. All right, Guts. Playing a little dangerous there, I see, while farming.
Meanwhile, Whisper will be able to back out Yuma and Gardic, but it is a Ujira pulling the creep wave past and trying to get into those arcane boots, but Whisper in the meantime taking the brunt of the damage, ends up falling right there. So not necessarily what the Snap was hoping for.
No, especially after that first kill. Thinking that maybe they can actually get some control in this laning stage. But obviously, Earthshaker not nearly as helpful as an Ogre. So Gardic having the edge when it comes to being the helping hand in this engagement. Paying off there as well. Does have Arcane's done already, though.
Yeah.
Gojira, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's big. And it feels like that's something that Yuma's going to have trouble dealing with a little bit, depending on how this next couple of minutes goes. But you can see C-Smile in the mid lane with the creep wave here and having a catapult in tow. Now also going to pop the illusion rune. So whatever extra bits of damage he can get onto this tower, this is really nice.
Yeah, because it's bringing in the next wave. Yeah. You just shepherded that tower through a full round there, so it's forcing Guts to take a little bit more heat.
But C-Smile gets a bit too far forward and gets punished. The rotation comes in, and they manage to take down the Shadow Fiend. Now, it was a lot of damage onto that tower mid, but definitely hurts to lose the Shadow Fiend like that. And now Yuma gonna get the ulti popped on him. Whisper combos together with Gojira, and they find the kill.
After just getting a win mid, though, to lose your safe laner. That definitely hurts. And, of course, that comes back to this pressure, too, of the Arcanes now as well, right? Like, they're dumping every single spell, and then they just pop Arcanes, and they can do it again when you come back now. Hector, though, moving the pressure from the mid to the top. Be charged on back here as he's ulting his way through the jungle.
Yeah, he's still going to be able to get that stacked up camp there at the very least.
Where was Yuma's courier that he caught that?
I don't know. That is weird. Well, interesting. But in the end, no towers taken. What happened?
It was on its way when he's dying, and they have the ward down there. So he probably walked behind the tower and just sniped it because Yuma was probably just sending his courier there when he respawned.
Gotcha. Now, they do manage to take down Stinger. Vitali finding that kill with the charge through. Not bad at all there.
So far, I'm liking what I see from Hokori. This could easily be one of those teams where you expect to just get like crushed in the mid lane and think, like, oh, whatever. Like, it's Beastcoast. This is to be expected, but they're keeping things even. Yes, the Sven and the Shadow Fiend are kind of scary. They're pretty huge right now, but then right after that, you have actually pretty close when it comes to Spirit Breaker and the Templar Assassin. And TA hasn't even gotten her stuff going yet.
Nicely played by Whisper to get that stun with the cookie on the illusion, and then it manages to lose his life afterwards. But I thought Yuma was going to get it with the free one there. It doesn't happen.
Up top, they are under vision before this jump here. Potential for maybe a turnaround. Oh, well, Misho. Is he trying to bait a stun so he can tether away? I really do.
Crazy. Interesting. Going for the soul ring on the IO. Not what I would have expected, but the jump in comes. Guts is there. And trying to use the extra mana here. Pulls him back in afterwards. Passes over a salve. Does have the fairy fire to stay alive a little bit longer. Gojira tries to make it work. It's not going to happen, though. Meanwhile, Stinger dies on the other side, and El Misho going to get chased through the jungle and is brought down by C-Smile in the end.
All right, so blood on both sides of the map here. Vitali probably escaping here. Oh, I say that. Nah, surely he's fine. Yeah, he'll just walking on off.
And back in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else do you do? That ward, dude. That ward.
Listen, you put your hand in the cookie jar one too many times. Something's gonna break.
I mean, the worst part is your Spirit Breaker, man. You could have just charged back like 2 seconds later,
True.
Yeah, you had options here. This was not necessary. TP home's kind of free for you, dude.
Oh, painful stuff. And Whisper very happy to take the kill that was granted to him there. But still, really even game. 7-7, 1,000 gold separating these two squads. You can see that Whisper's starting to get into some bigger items now as well. Has power treads, trying to go in next towards the Yule Scepter. Over in the jungle, Hector farms out the camps here, and now is going to retreat because they can see there's the big rotation. Hokori making the move for that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, but there'll be an equal trade bottom very quickly from Whisper here. has a catapult, took 3 points and a little shredder, so
Yeah.
no chance you're going to want to defend this.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Hector pushes the wave in towards mid. Catapult doesn't quite get in range over there. Guts cuts it off and stops before too much more pressure can be mounted onto that tier 1 mid. It's pretty close to dead, though. That might be the next move for him. Charge. Canceled. Ali thinking about going there, but Stinger's in the area, and we've already talked about that demonic purge and how annoying it can be.
Tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I have to reconnect here.
Oh, no
Be
problem.
good. Yeah, no, I'm fixing some stiff. Ah, there we go. Beautiful.
Dire's top tower
Perfect.
is under attack.
2,000 gold lead over the last couple minutes for Beastcoast, and it is starting to make the move up towards the north side. The wraparound Echo could be here right under Gusto and Misho. They spot one, and there's the control. Oh, you can't be that far forward. Stun is
that
out.
was nice.
Fissure. Echo afterwards. Do they have enough damage to kill off Guts, though? No, he's going to just zip TP. Wait,
So,
what? Team?
They had a catch 22 because Hector had to stun the Io, or he was going to get relocate saved.
Ah, I see.
So then you're losing the damage of the Sven, and they just didn't quite have the full numbers there. And meanwhile, while that was going on, you had Yuma taking a triple or maybe a quad stack of Ancients that he was working on over there too. So now he's
Ooh.
actually neck and neck here with the Shadow Fiend, trading spots back and forth.
All right, big plays. I mean, this is what you need to do, definitely. On Hokori, they're going to take away that ward that was blocking out the hard camp, too. I think almost immediately after his pick. But things you got to be careful about going forward here for Hokori. Gojira very close to that Blink Dagger, only a couple hundred gold away.
I was just about to bring that up here, but I got to fight here first.
Gojira in some trouble. That hurts.
That's awful.
That hurts.
That's so. If you think about how Hokori need to play this game, Earthshaker is one of the last heroes I feel like you'd want to be playing against, because your Storm is going Kaya Sange, so he doesn't offer anything other than just like outright damage and like a little stun with the Vortex, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, the idea is we charge in, and you're basically like collapsing all 5 heroes on a single person, trying to blow them up to give you a numbers advantage in the fight, and then go for the chase down after, right? But if you're trying to go for that one hero blow up, and there's a Shaker lurking in the trees with Blink Dagger, oh, it's a disaster. Like, what's worse? Maybe Wyvern, I guess, is like equally as bad. So
Yeah.
it's a very tough hero to play versus. So hopefully that's the hero they're going to be looking for first. And well, there's your relocator. He's gone.
Yeah, Amisha gets taken out right at the start. It was just sort of a casual walk through the jungle by Beastcoast, and Corey ends up catching them through the jungle there. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And I think particularly, like we talked about, this danger that the Shadow Demon presents against the Spirit Breaker initiation can maybe be mitigated a bit by the Shadow Blade. That's going to be something to watch, where Gojira caught again. Oh, he's only 300 gold away, but the Snapfire ultimate comes in, trying to chase down and kill Vitali. Not quite going to get out of there in time. And instead, jump forward, finds C Smile, Guts pulls him back in, big hit, the side blades, but the banish keeps the TA fine. Yuma tries to back out of there. The fear going to connect onto several. That is a big stun, though. And the bloodlust from the Ogre will not be enough to keep that poor old TA alive.
Or his
Sector
tower.
turns the sights on to that tier 1. Oof.
Radiant's middle tower.
I have to say, that was a pretty free kill for Guts, though, at least. You know, he just kind of hops in, hops out. I'm sure he felt very good about that situation. It's almost like they just recognized they weren't going to be able to kill him and just said, you know what, just go for the double. Just kill the TA. And a beautiful item choice here from Hector. This is why this guy's so good. Getting a halberd on Sven this game. Beautiful. Like, a lot of people would not buy this item right now. You know, they'd be like, oh, I'm just going to buy my my BKB. I'm going to be a normal Sven or something. But it's just so good in this match right now.
Yeah, a little bit of evasion, taking away TA's punches, and, well, they're really, at this point, starting to build up quite a lead. And this is going to be the Blink Dagger reveal that we'll see. Now, Whisper does not have kisses, but I don't think it matters if they can manage to find Guts. Oh, Guts, don't come out for that one. Don't do it. You know you want to. Don't do it. Yeah, good play. Guts is running away. Knows what's up.
Good choice. Good choice.
Does Gojira know what's up, though?
dun.
Oh my God, is he gonna place this ward? Dude, he sees him.
Imagine he'd walk by that wave.
Oh,
That would have been glorious. He's got maxed out Aftershock as well. He is a terrifying force. I love when I have that maxed out and I get my Blink Dagger.
It's under attack.
Yeah. It's just waiting to unleash hell on the opposing team. They do have kisses now. So anybody that shows up, they can kill anybody. I think
Valve.
Guts is about to die.
Put her Shaker in Ag's Labyrinth. Come on. Bring him back.
There you go.
I like my cool heroes being in there, you know?
No, he's a boss now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Fissure. Oh, God, they just ran.
All right, never mind. Don't put him in. I changed my mind.
That's pretty good, though. I like that. Still, Beastcoast with a substantial lead. And feeling very strong. Very capable. This BKB is there on SF now, too. So see Smiles got the
Got a
sort of-
replay here as well.
Ooh.
Happening. Showing off the kill on a Vitaly, and then the Guts just getting the freest kill you've ever seen. Hello. Okay, everyone's ignoring me. Hi. And then they just killed TA.
That was well done. I wonder if they could have gotten out right there.
I think
Man.
the fear hit just the tiniest bit.
Right. Well, in the
Got the IO
meantime,
alongside.
this is big. If they can manage to sneak this Roche, Yuma trying to clear it out, but they traded a tier 2 tower for this already. Hector wants to walk in, making for his move, jump forward. Kiss is going down now as well. Oh, they didn't get Roche in time. They will kill off the Shadow Demon. Now jumps in. Oh, catches Guts. Ujira finds the finish. Now Requiem afterwards, immediately onto that TA. And, well, wouldn't you look and know it? Freaking Roche ready to get taken. Beast Coast,
Oh.
They get the tower, they get the Aegis. It's all looking up
new
for them.
Santa hat.
I feel like the Aegis person should be able to pick up the Santa hat and wear
Oh
it.
my god, it should be on their head.
Yes.
Valve,
Please.
stop everything.
Don't worry about the tree cutting quest. Give us the
Cease
Santa
all
hat. Oh.
Have you accidentally dropped your neutral item yet? I've already done it like 3 times.
Oh no, I haven't. That's the other
my
big
god,
one.
dude. You right click it and just you go for it and it's just gone. And I'm like, that didn't teleport, and I just see it sitting next to me. I'm like, oh no.
I think I did just see a possessed mask on the ground that got picked up by Beast Coast. That might have been somebody's that they accidentally dropped.
I would wager. I already saw a team with 2 Penta Edges actually earlier.
Ooh,
So I think that was also one.
God.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't aware right now, they've changed a lot of the UI. And the reason that is because they've added controller support because the Steam Deck is coming out in February. So they want people to play Dota on their Steam Deck, which has controllers on it. Also, you can plug in your keyboard too, but it's got, you know, like natural controls on the side. So they've updated all the UI stuff. So you got to be careful when you're choosing your options right now, guys. Don't drop your neutral items accidentally. It has moved. All right? Where it was teleport to base is now drop item.
That's fair. I think that though we've got some bigger issues on our hands for poor old Hokori here, because this is a dead tier 3 tower and they're about to lose a whole Rax. And
Maybe they'll drop all their items accidentally.
That's a possibility. You know, we might see some item dropping, but I don't think it's going to be accidental. If I'm going to be honest here, the way that this game is going, it is completely blown open. And Beast Coast have the ability to head on over and take that outpost if they want. But you can see, Corey, they know what's up. Got to just keep farming, dodge away from fights, get what you can.
Pupil's gift here for Shadow Demon.
Oh,
I feel like I never get this neutral item anymore. Never drops in my games.
I do like it a lot, though.
You know what it is? Is that you just don't have Philosopher's Stone. So even when you get it, you're just like, well,
That's a good point.
wish I had Philosophers.
Also, I think like agi carries are just, it's, you know, there aren't as many people that we play with that play agi carries. It's part of the problem.
Well, they also look at that and go like, that's not edgy. I don't want that. I don't
That's
care.
fair.
You know?
Yeah. Well. Okay, when Hector,
Cookie-
are they going to
oh.
move down bottom again?
We get stunned into like a cookie play here.
He just walked in and charged him. Oh, that's a Yule Scepter. That is a cookie. That's an ulti. And that is a dead Callie. It's brought on down. And they're also going to relocate back into this one. That was with 3 of their heroes. Zinger dropping some items, getting some extra value there out of sick charges or something. But in the meantime, they jump for a moment onto Hector. They block off guard it. Oh, God. Got to be careful there. Stun afterwards. Turn now onto Yuma, trying to bring him down. A couple of different targets being gone on here. But it's going to be the Aegis Reclaim. See Smile thinking about going in with the Requiem if he wants to. Instead, it's a BKB out from Yuma. Now the turn on to the tower. They kill the Spearbreaker again.
He's waiting for the echo. He's just digging in the back. He's like, oh, salve. Anyone need a salve, guys?
Oh, my God. And I think that this one is looking very much out of hand. Beastcoast not trying to waste any time here. Set their sights onto this tier 3 tower. About to get megas at 21 minutes with an 18,000 gold lead. And, well, disarming heroes, taking racks. That's how you do it. Storm farming for next game. Yuma, stunned. Requiem, thinking about going with it now. Quick jump. There's the echo. The Requiem afterwards. GG is called. Beastcoast, they're too good.
They definitely are, and they certainly were right here. Hokori, decent laning stage, though, I will say. Now, to summarize Beastcoast across the DPC, they never win their laning stage. It really does not matter who they play versus. They're the best comeback team I've ever seen in a league. They constantly will be behind by 15 or 20K, and you're just like, I thought this was Beastcoast, and then they win the game, and you go, it is Beastcoast. So they certainly have very good concepts of how to finish a game and what actually wins a match for Dota, but this was actually much cleaner than Beastcoast usually is.
That's impressive. And I think like a lot of it came off of some of the early strong laning from Whisper. He was able to get that kill down their bottom. It looks super solid. Ends up with the most damage in the game, actually, on the offlane Snapfire, which I feel like isn't always seen that often.
Those ultis, dude, they were good.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff. Hokori, anything that stands out immediately that you feel like can be remedied going into game number 2? Any like really troubling things that you saw? Maybe more team fight just in general?
Yeah, I think that was pointed out pretty heavily in the draft as well. That is a good option. Or like also just some way to play a little bit of defense. They actually have no way to like defend towers with this draft, right? I'm sure like when you pass it over to the panel right now, that's probably going to be talked about a little bit more.
Well, with that, we're going to head on over the panel. He's just says jump and I say how high. We'll be back in a few. See you guys then.
Yes, sorry. Yes, you knew. How did you read me so well, Lacoste?
Just smile.
No.
Smile and look at the camera. Don't worry.
Thank you, Trent, for that pass and Lyrical as well. I mean, what you guys said happened. Maybe he had like 5 okay minutes for Hokori, and then it just went downhill from there. There was like no chance for them. And I think the last comment by Trent really rings true. Beastcoast does not win their lanes. They rarely do, and here they destroyed them, not just won them. So that's a bad sign. Yeah.
You sound beautiful to me.
Okay, yeah, you sound great. Okay, it's all right. Well, we solved this little technical issue. Fogged, you could tell me about these wonderful lanes, can't you?
I mean, it's disaster all around.
Right.
That's where it comes to me even more about like, and it's not anything against them or anything, but it's harping even more on the draft and more of the understanding of the game. Also, as you know, they last picked the TA, and then they don't even do what I feel like they should have done with the TA. You know, they picked this to win the lane, and then they lose the lane because they don't put it in the lane that I feel like it should have been. And I feel like they didn't even play their draft the way that they should. I think that 14-minute fight in the mid river says it all. You're picking a huge 5v5 fight with the tier 1 mid up on the side of Beastcoast. Like, they're going to turn up. What are you expecting to have happen there? Your lineup is not meant to play like that. Your lineup has to play with a number advantage. If you're playing a 4v4, if you're playing a 3v3 in that game as the side of Hokori, you're going to get smashed. And they forced that fight. That river fight, like, that's the game over for me. When they take that river fight, they get wiped. Tier 1 is still up. Then they're desperate. They're like, oh my God, what do we do? Okay, we Roshan, right? Tier 1's still up. It's like there's so much information on the map for Beastcoast. They know everything that Hokori's doing. Hokori's just playing like this like cookie cutter gameplay that's extremely obvious, but they're not pressuring the map in the ways that they need to in order to not make it obvious. Like they didn't put pressure and they just like forced a fight, and it's like, okay, Beastcoast just has everything, all the information possible, and then they're like, you want to 5v5 fight us? Thank you. Thank you so much.
As Lacoste was just saying in his in sign was that in fact they could have matched a team fight, and then when these team fights happened, it was just impossible, and the lanes should have gone well. I mean, essentially what Fog was saying, which is lanes should have gone well. They didn't really play it to their strengths. There was something Winter was mentioning when he was watching Hokori, which I think stands true very much for this team, particularly for today, is that you guys looked at their drafts. You're like, these are wacky drafts. They're unique and they're creative, and that's great practice for the drafter. But oftentimes trying to improve upon mistakes with these drafts is harder because you have a bad in mid. So you look at the game, you're like, well, what lost us the game is we ran a bad in mid, not that we rotated badly or anything like that. And it's tougher to improve for a team like Hokori.
It's also just, I feel like we get back to this a lot of times when it's a better team, like, which is very clear, and I think we're gonna just say it a million times, like Beastcoast is way better than Hokori is, just straight up. You want to make the game a little bit easier for yourself, and I feel like with this draft, you make the game extremely difficult for yourself. You have to outplay, you have to. You're playing like 4D chess the whole game until you hit a certain timing. Sure, like if their lineup is able to take it to later stages, sure, you can see maybe the chance for these heroes to do what they're supposed to do, but they don't. They can't get to that point. Like they're never going to get to that point when they're playing versus a cohesive team, just team fight. Like, and we're going to say team fight, and also I do want to bring up what Trent said at the end of the game too, is easier ways to defend your tower. Like they don't really have ways to deep push. Their ways of defending towers is commit. And they don't have the heroes to commit because they can't win fights. So it's a lot of problems that they're gonna have to figure out a way to solve with very little time, because it's full back to the drawing board and play and draft, because the draft that they didn't understand how to play it clearly.
Let's see if Game 2 is a bit more benevolent for them. Maybe we get a draft that they are more comfortable playing, or at least with less holes. We're going to have to see. For now, we're going to take a very small break, so we will come back for game number 2 with a pregame panel, and we'll continue with the Beast Coast versus Hokori best of 3. See you guys in a few as we come back with that game.